Hello and welcome to We're Watches. This is Arcane episode 5. So last episode we had our time skip, reintroducing to where all of the characters are at the moment. Powder has been groomed into this new Jinx persona working with Silco. It seems like there could be a romantic relationship there as well. Then Vi is in prison. We're about to catch up with Vi. We didn't really see much of her. Caitlin is visiting Vi now. So we'll finally catch up, figure out why she's in prison and everything that's gone on with her side of things. And then this episode is titled Everybody Wants to Be My Enemy, which is obviously the song. So I'm very excited to see what this is and whose perspective this is coming from. I feel like it could be Jinx. You know, she sees everyone, everyone was working against her. She has this kind of victim complex, but it could be another character. I don't know yet. So before we jump into it, be sure to check out the Patreon. Over there you can find full-length timer-based reactions where you just sync up your own footage. You can also find polls so you can vote for what's next, and you can find early access where we'll probably be on episode 7 or 8 by now. So yeah, let's just jump right in. Oh wow, that is just gorgeous. Look at that. The way the water's dripping. I saw the blue hair. Is that Caitlin training or is this Jinx? This looks like it'd be Caitlin because it's above ground. Was that Grayson? This is obviously a bit of a flashback. So she looked up to Grayson a bit maybe, and that's why she wanted to become an enforcer. And then her death would be an impact as well, you know? Oh, it's like the family crest. Yeah, she's not really one for all of the festivities that come with her position.
No, your parents didn't pay me. I just thought you deserved it. For me, knowing how to handle this weapon means being able to protect people. What are you shooting for?
Oh, here we are.
There's no record of you or your crimes. What are you here for?
My sunny personality.
So she's been wiped off the map, basically.
Silco, the industrialist.
Okay, this is getting old.
So Silco has a bit more of a positive reputation at the moment.
Where did you get this?
Oh, her tattoo is a 6, but it's VI, isn't it? I thought it was Roman numerals for some reason.
In what mad world would I trust someone like you?
Someone like me?
Well, you want us to have a chat with her?
No.
Oh.
Oh, so she is gonna get Vi released to come help. So does Vi know that Powder is alive or not? Yeah, I wonder if Jinx and Vi are gonna meet this episode. Whenever they do meet, it's gonna be a big moment.
Who was this, Daddy?
Oh, it's his daughter. Yeah.
You said you could control her. I lost 6 officers.
Yeah, so of course, Marcus is working with Silco.
Firelights have been a thorn in both our sides. They ambushed my shipment at the Hex Gates on the same day as the attack. It seems to me the Council has its...
Yeah, to blame it on the firelights.
For their families. From an anonymous, concerned citizen.
Marcus is getting sick of this deal he's got with Silco though, but that could end up bad in a big all-out battle, you know? Silco's basically threatening a peace over him, you know?
What about our pledge to improve lives? For those in need? For the Undercity?
Yeah, the Undercity's been completely rejected, hasn't it?
Soon, there are people who need our help now, Jace.
I've made a list of suspicious transactions.
All due respect, Counselor.
Then Jace is going to be digging in too deep and get in trouble.
This corruption runs deep, Sheriff.
They call themselves violence. They operate like phantoms doing hit and run.
Oh, Victor's just getting worse and worse. It's tempting him in, you know?
They formed some kind of mathy, magic-y gateway.
So she is figuring it out. Oh, getting flashbacks to that moment so long ago. But yeah, this didn't end in an explosion. Still emotional damage for her though. Seeing the outside world in first time in so long. I think if Vi and Jinx encounter each other, it's gonna be, I bet it's gonna be a cliffhanger at the end of the episode. She's back in her element, you know? I don't think she's trying to escape, she's just, you know, enjoying herself being free again. Love this score. Already getting into trouble, of course.
Nice jacket.
And the old man made it down in the same time.
Welcome to the lanes.
You almost got me killed.
My little sister could do that when she was 7. All us fisherfolk can.
Fisher folk, okay.
They think. They adapt. You think Hextech can learn?
I mean, there's definitely something magical going on with them. Yeah, they can learn, communicate with each other, maybe.
Oh, Jericho. Have I missed these?
Is news going to spread around that she's back, though?
In exchange for her generous academy patronage.
By leniencies, you mean corruption.
Of course, politics and corruption.
Don't they hate each other?
But they share a taste for the fine and Noxian spirits. Technically an illegal import. Put a target on your back.
Yeah, he's working against their interests, being a goody two-shoes.
You've just made yourself everyone's common enemy, Jace.
All the way back here, reliving some of the memories a bit. All still functional. I'm wondering like how much she actually remembers of all of this. She uses it to fuel her rage though. Oh, look at that. It looked like maybe we're seeing bits of Vi there as well, yeah.
I had quite a shock this morning. Enforcers banging on my door.
I hope you'll understand. Jace had to make a show of safety.
Okay, yeah, you can always play it off, can't you?
You know, Counselor Madara's right. The Hex Gates are only the beginning. In fact, we're currently looking for new partners in our Hextech research.
Yeah, he's fallen right into it. Gotta do what you gotta do though. Sometimes you have to compromise your morals for the greater good. I don't know.
The one place all the secrets are spilled.
Is there a chance anyone could recognize Caitlyn here? She's kind of the problem here if someone figures out she's an enforcer.
Like that screams, it sounds a bit like a trumpet.
If you really want people to talk to you, you have to let them think you have what they want.
And what do
You're hot, Cupcake.
Use her looks to her advantage.
My parents named me Matilda.
Oh, it's her. We saw her in the first episode, didn't we? We're still seeing some side characters, like background characters we've seen before, and they actually have more story to them.
I'm discovered. We're both finished.
Good thing you've located proof of the Firelight's involvement. Imagining yourself a hero. One final act to make you the martyr you've always seen yourself as.
Oh. Did that actually happen? Was that just a dream? What?
Then what are you waiting for?
Yeah. You didn't actually do it. Okay.
You need to weaponize the Hextech soon. Once we've cracked their prize, Topside will have no power over us.
Yeah, weaponize the Hex tech and then you can use it to start a war, basically, an uprising.
I keep seeing them. That day.
Your visions are getting worse.
By the looks of it, no one down here lifted a finger to stop Silco.
A few tried. But Silco's got the muscle and the money.
Yeah, there wasn't much they could do to stop them taking over. Caitlyn's getting a bit too into it.
The Medardas usually only take from the world. We're not often in the position to give anything back.
Oh, is there something brewing here? Or is this just politics, you know? She might just be doing this to manipulate him.
Are you headed home soon? I thought we could walk together.
I'm probably going to sleep here tonight.
Okay, so a bit of a love interest for Victor, but I don't know how that will go. He doesn't seem, it's not his focus, is it? He's getting more and more desperate, isn't he? Oh, it might be doing something though. It's like connecting to his blood somehow. Okay. Is Victor gonna become like enhanced himself? This reminds me of like a Spider-Man opening credit sequence or something, you know? The way the blood was like connecting to stuff. It looks like a web almost. What does that mean for Victor then?
That day, I let a weak man die, and another was reborn.
Oh, he was reborn as Silco, you know? He saw himself as weak before.
You need to let Powder die.
It's like a baptism, isn't it? Being born again as Jinx. Oh, we're guessing we're guessing the song during the show. It's always great when that happens. Is that supposed to be Imagine Dragons there? You can see how much shimmer has infiltrated into the world, you know? Did Marcus have a daughter before? Is that like what's motivating him for all of this? He wants to build a good world for his daughter, you know? Oh, Victor's got even worse. But what does this mean, his blood infusing with the crystal? Oh, yeah, of course. This isn't good though, starting a scene.
Vander had his chance.
Oh. Yeah, she's like infused with, okay, with the shimmer into a robotic arm, yeah, because she lost it.
I see you never learned patience.
Caitlyn gonna come in and help? Or can Vi take her on her own? It's like they're injecting like controllable amounts of shimmer at the moment. It's not going wild like Deckard and Vander did back then. Yeah, she can handle this herself. She's had all of this time in prison to, you know, train.
Where's he keeping her?
Keeping her? You mean Jinx? She works for him.
Yeah. One realization. Ooh, she's get stabbed.
She's like his daughter.
I mean, it's even worse than that.
I'll give her your regards.
Yeah, of course. Caitlyn, help her, or... Oh, it's a callback to the start of the episode as well with the gun. We know she's a sharpshooter, but Savika got away. So was Savika the one who turned against Vander in the last drop, like in the first or second episode? I didn't realise that. I didn't realise that was like the same person. And now she can return to Silco and say that Vi's on the move. And she harnessed it properly. Yeah, it looks like the machine that Jace built before.
She's back.
From the dead.
There's a great moment seeing Silco actually scared of her. Okay, so that was Arcane episode 5. I never made the connection that Savika was the one who got in that disagreement with Vander in episode 1 or 2. I didn't realize that was her, and then she went on to join Silco in his like uprising. But that makes a lot of sense. And now Savika is going to be the one, or she's told Silco that Vi is back. I wonder what Silco is going to do with this information, because he could use it to manipulate Jinx even more, but I'm not quite sure. Maybe he will try and keep it a secret, take care of her, as in like kill her before Powder can ever find out, you know. His reaction to the information was great though, the kind of fear you see in his eyes, and him saying back from the dead, so he assumed she had died. It's going to be really interesting when they finally do meet, which I'm imagining will be in the next episode. And I did really love this episode when they brought in the intro music to play during the actual episode. It's always great when shows do that. I always love that. And then, you know, what Silco was saying about being reborn, when he had his fight with Vander, he kind of left behind this more timid version of him and said he was reborn in this moment. He obviously does the exact same to Jinx, and there's this symbolism of dropping into the water and coming back up, and it looks very much like a baptism. And I'm pretty sure with baptisms, it's once that happens, you're like fully considered a Christian. So, you know, there's some great symbolism there, isn't there? And then very interesting stuff happening on the Piltover side. Jace, you know, he's this goody two shoes, so he started investigating all of this stuff, all of this corruption, and then realizes how big of a problem it is. You know, all of his fellow counselors, they are all corrupt, they've all got their little back dealings and everything, as you'd expect. It makes it more interesting when there's all of this corruption. That's exactly what you want from a show, you know. And then the police force is corrupt as well with Marcus. You know, Marcus has his daughter now, so it does make me wonder if his motivations are changing. I don't know if he had a daughter before, I can't remember that. You know, as a father, you want to build the best life for your children. Maybe, you know, he wanted to get rich and work with Silco, but now maybe his priorities are changing because he has a daughter. You know, instead of just wanting to get rich so she can live a comfortable life, you want society to be better for your children as well, you know. You know, it's one thing to be rich, own a nice house, pass that on to your children so they can have, you know, a nice lifestyle, but having the world around them be nice as well, that's also motivation for you, isn't it? And then we see things are getting really interesting on the Victor front. His blood has infused with one of these hex tech gems, so I'm really wondering, you know, what is going to come of that. Is this gem now bound to him because it has like a DNA sample from him? Can he like fuse it into himself and it's going to heal him of everything that's wrong with him? I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities there. That is really exciting. And you know, I think with Victor, he does actually have a really noble cause. He wants to help all of the people in the underground as well, you know, because Piltover has basically used all of this hex tech technology for themselves. They haven't spread the wealth, you know. And we did see this Miss Young. She looks like she has some interest in Victor, so there could be like a potential love interest there. But I think he is just focused on his science. He doesn't really even notice. I don't think that's going to end well. I think he could end up, you know, trying to use her, manipulate her fondness for him so he can like advance his science career. But I don't think he like even realizes. I'm not quite sure there. I don't know where that plot point will go with her now, because I don't think it's going to end with those two being together somehow. It feels like Victor is on this kind of tragic path. I feel like what might happen is he gains some more power because of what's happened with this hex tech gem and his blood infusing with it, and then maybe he loses it again later, or it corrupts him. You know, there's always the risk of the power corrupting, and I do see that happening with him, even if his cause is noble. I think this episode really fleshed out Caitlyn a bit more as well. We got her backstory. She has this relationship with Grayson, which is cool to see the kind of interconnectivity of everything here. And I think if she finds out that Marcus had some part in why Grayson died, she could turn on him, or there's gonna be some drama there if she finds out that that happened. But we do see that Marcus does regret what happened because he was there at Grayson's grave, you know. So Caitlyn is like really coming into her own here. We're seeing a lot more of her. She's a much bigger part of this than I thought she would be, you know. Before she was just this assistant to Jace, but now she's got so much deeper into all of this, and I feel like her and Jace can be working together again soon, because they're both very kind of goody two shoes, do everything by the books. But we have seen that this episode Jace has had to embrace some politics and some bribery and, you know, just play things up a bit to get what he wants. I feel like that's kind of necessary sometimes in politics. You need to shake a few hands and rub a few backs to get where you want. You know, it's all for the greater good, breaking some of your morals, but doing it for the greater good, you know. But I do feel like Mel could be manipulating him some. I don't know if this romance between them, how legitimate it is. I feel like she could be using him. We didn't get much more on the Firelights this episode. They were name dropped a few times and they're being framed for what Powder did, but we still haven't really seen them and we still don't know who their leader is. I still think it's Echo because he's the character that makes most sense for it to be, but you know, there could be a twist and like Milo survived or Clagger survived perhaps, but I feel like Echo is the most likely here. And I do want to, you know, find out what their motivation is. Obviously they're stopping Silco, but we don't really know why they're stopping Silco. Is it out of revenge for what happened to Vi and Powder and everyone? Or is it just like a power play? You know, there's a lot of things it could be. Or is it they're acting as vigilantes because they don't trust the enforcers, which they're right not to trust, because we've seen all the way up at the top with Marcus, he is corrupt, he's working with Silco. I mean, I say he's working with Silco, but it's really he's working for Silco. Silco has become this kind of king of the underground now. He is in control of everything. He's even in control of some stuff that happens in Piltover. The councillors may think they're in charge, but really Silco is pulling all of the strings, really. And that's why it's so satisfying to see him, you know, a bit scared that Vi is back now. So I think that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like or a comment or even subscribe. And if you're interested, check out the Patreon where you can get early access to the next few episodes. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.